Good afternoon, and welcome to our sixth broadcast of our spring session of the Avon Leadership Bootcamp. My name is Gretchen Griffin. I'm a district sales manager with Avon, and this is our final session that we're going to have for training for the Leadership Bootcamp. So real quickly, we want to say hi to everybody themselves really quickly. So we'll start out with Miss Kristy Alley.
Hello, everyone. So glad you could be here. We're really excited to round this all out with you, and we have some great things in store for you this time. Gretchen, who will we pass it to next? Janice?
Hi, this is Youngblood from District 2860. So glad everybody could join us this afternoon on this wonderful day. Let's see, is Kelly still there? How about the other Kristy? Just say hi.
Kristy Grove. You have to unmute yourself. Kristy Grove is one of our guest speakers.
I just had to unmute myself. I'm sorry, I had some trouble getting connected today for whatever reason. But I'm all set and here.
Yeah, awesome. So we're going to hear from Kristy in just a moment. And Kelly Travail is another manager that's going to join us. I think she's having some technical issues. We were just talking about that, Kristy, before you joined. So I think we're all having that same issue today. So let's go over and see. Really, I'm still having technical issues. My mouse doesn't want to work. So we're going to look at who completed the 5th Bootcamp Challenge. From the responses we received so far, and that form is still open, so if you did not enter your information on that challenge, do that. And your district managers will be checking that, because we're going to compile the list of those who've completed at least 6 challenges between now and when we announce the graduates from this session of the boot camp. So, of course, we have on the top of the list Miss Kristy Grove from Angela Reckley's district. So, congratulations, Kristy. She had the one new recruit with a $100 order, plus she grew the number of representatives on her team, so she got the extra credit badge as well. And from Janice Youngblood's district, a name we've heard quite often, Miss Samantha Long. So, congratulations, Samantha. She had the one recruit with a $100 order. Plus, she grew the number of representatives on her team, and she had a new candidate. She got all 3, so congratulations. And from Miss Kristy Alley's district, we had Carrie McCauley with one new representative with a $100 order, and she also grew her number of representatives. Congratulations. Look at all this growth. And from Maryland York's district, 1460 district, we had Vanessa Atkins. She had the one recruit with a $100 order, and she also grew her number of representatives. Miss Ruth Preston from District 7908 from my district out in Washington, she had her one new recruit and grew the number of representatives on her team. From my district in 2867, we have Miss Christy Scruggs earning all 3 badges. She had the one new addition with a $100 order. She had more than one new candidate, and I'm sorry, she did not grow her representative count this campaign, but I bet you she will be next time. And Miss Sandy Holly, all 3 categories. She had one new recruit, one new candidate with an order, and she grew the number of representatives on her team. Amy Hara from my district 2867 had her new recruit that placed over a $100 order, and she also grew the number of representatives. Alice Smith also grew the number of representatives on her team, so she got that extra credit badge. Those were the responses that we've received so far. Like I said, we'll keep that form open, so feel free. The link is on our Bootcamp Facebook page if you missed it, and I think most of the district sales managers have shared that again as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started talking a little bit more about what this Leadership Bootcamp is all about and how we're going to wind it down, because each one of these sessions, this is our 6th session, we've talked a little bit about a certain area of training for your leadership business. And it's all about trying to help you grow and trying to help you become better leaders and give you some of the tools and information from leaders all across the country. And that's what's great about this technical virtual world. So each time we've given you certain challenges. Sometimes it's just one challenge. Sometimes you had an opportunity to get some extra credit badges in there. But for the final graduation, you're going to need to earn 6 of those badges. And you can go back and look at all of the different challenges. All of the recordings are posted on the events section in our Bootcamp page. And so if you missed any, you can go check out the extra credit badges and see what you missed. So over the next couple of weeks, you're going to want to make sure you have at least 6 badges. And your district sales managers are going to be getting the report. So they're going to know who's close and who made it and who might need a little bit of push. So right now, we're going to go ahead and start off hearing from a leadership representative, Ms. Kristy Grove, who's been so nice to join us today and share her expertise on Downline Manager, which I know is a high request that we've had from our leaders that they wanted to learn more about. So Kristy Grove is in Angela Reckley's district, and Angela couldn't be with us today because she's actually on the road coming back from New York. But she sent me the introduction, and you know, she shared so much about Kristy. I've been waiting for this segment for a long time. Kristy is a Unit Leader Plus. She earned the Making Dreams Come True ticket. She's been a representative for just a little over 2 years. She's also President's Club. She has 35 representatives in her downline, one who is obviously a unit leader. She also has 3 candidates. And Angela says that she's the master of Downline Manager and works her business like a business every day. And just from talking to Kristy yesterday, I can really tell that she really has a good business plan. She knows her numbers as well as her team's goals. She does great recognition and newsletters each campaign. She's up to date on all the incentives and knows what she needs to do to accomplish them. And she does what it takes to accomplish her goals. So thank you for that introduction, and can't wait to hear from you, Kristy. So we'll pass it on over to you, and let's see what you can help us with.
Okay, well, it's great to be here with you guys today, and so I'm just here to talk about Downline Manager today and how to use it proficiently. This is definitely a really, really important area to master, just because Downline Manager will. And we were talking about this yesterday when we were, going over what we were going to talk about. But it does kind of tell the story of your business in a way. It tells, the numbers don't lie, and you can kind of see where you're at just by looking at those numbers. It might not tell you why the numbers are, why they are, but it does give you a very good indication of where you're at and where you need to be. You can find everything from, your current unit sales there. You can find whose order is on hold. You can find tracking for all the incentives, like Gretchen had just said. And you can even look at a simulation of where your leaders are going to fall and where you yourself are going to fall when advanced leadership rolls out in Campaign 17. So I really can't stress the importance enough of how important it is to go ahead and start using Downline Manager. You really, I'm going to talk about it today and, give you some ideas. But the best thing that you can do is get on your Avon.com, go to the Sales Leadership tab. Down the left-hand side, there's where Downline Manager is. Click into that and start looking around and running reports, and just play with it until you're, comfortable, and start looking around, because it's a really great tool. Avon has provided it for us, and it's an excellent tool to help you figure out, where you are in your business and kind of help you plan. Something that we were talking about that I get a lot of questions about from leadership representatives is just the very, very basic. How do I find my numbers, and how do I figure out if I've reached my my goals for titling, as unit leader, or whatever level of titling in a particular campaign. That's very easy to find if you go on, and I'm not sure, Gretchen, I'm not sure if you're able to pop up. Are you able to pop up that screen like you did yesterday? Yep, there it is. Okay, like if you look on Downline Manager and you look right at that I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It's on the left-hand side there. It'll show you your current campaign and your personal information under your personal award sales. If you add that number, and then I don't know if we can scroll down on that at all, but if we scroll down a little bit, maybe not. That's okay. But if you, yep, there it is. There it is. If we scroll down just a little bit, if you're looking at campaign 14, first you look at your personal award sales, then you look at your generational breakdown unit sales, go all the way to the right-hand side for the total. You're going to add those numbers together. Now, campaign 14 in this particular situation looks like there's not any sales there yet, so this person's orders probably haven't updated yet. But that's how you're going to find your numbers. And if you are a unit leader or you're aiming to hit unit leader, you want to be at that $1,200 mark. So you're going to be looking for your personal award sales and your total unit sales to add up to that $1,200 mark. And then you can also see where the orders are. You need 3 first-generation orders, obviously besides your own, in order to, title as unit leader. So that's a very, very easy thing to do, and that's probably the most important thing to be looking for, first of all, when you're using Downline Manager and if you are new to it. But you are going to need to look at some other things as well. So I would say that that's probably, one of the big, easy questions that I get a lot of times. There's a lot of other interesting things that you can do with Downline Manager, though, as well. And probably one of the most important things that you can do is track your representatives. This is what I do all the time with the people in my downline. I'm constantly looking to see, are they placing orders? Do they have an order on hold? If you go back onto that main screen down the right-hand side, on the right-hand side, it's going to give you a list of action items. You're going to see, if somebody has an order on hold, it's going to show you that right there. If you click, on it, it'll say, whose order is on hold. Then you kind of know who you need to reach out to and say, hey, did you know that your order is on hold? Because sometimes there's some confusion about that, especially with the new representative. They might not, realize, they've got to pay for this order up front. Hopefully you've coached them and told them that already, but there can be some confusion. So you want to really work with those action items there on the right-hand side. On this particular screen, you see that you've got people that have missed their on-time order submission deadline, but they still have time to submit a late order. So you want to make sure that you're reaching out to them and letting them know, hey, you can still submit an order. You're going to pay a little bit more for shipping, but it's worth it if you've got an order to get it in there. So that is all some important, stuff that you can look at there. As far as tracking your representatives, if you look down the screen where it says reports, all the way down to the bottom, there's a tab that says, not a tab, but just an area that says genealogy tree view. If you click on that, you can look at all of the different representatives. They'll show up kind of like in your family tree according to your generations. And you can click on their names. You can click on what is called the inquiry tab. And this is a very important tab for you to look at because it is always current. If they make a payment, it's going to update immediately. Now, the rest of Downline Manager is only going to update one time a day, and it's not going to update when you wake up on Sunday morning and Monday morning. It's not going to be updated for you. But if you want to look and see what's going on over that weekend time, you want to know if somebody made their payment, you want to know if they submitted an order, you're going to see all of that information, and it's up to date to the minute if you look at the inquiry tab. If you click on genealogy tree view, you look on people's individual names, and you click on that tab that says inquiry, you're going to be able to see what's going on with them. That's a really important tool because if you know what's going on, with your representatives, and hey, this person hasn't placed an order since April, then you know that you need to reach out to them and maybe see if you can re-engage them. Another thing that you can actually do is if you look and you kind of play around on that genealogy tree view and you click on each person's individual name, you can look at their orders, their award sales for each campaign. You can see how many books they're ordering every single campaign. that is a very important thing to know, because sometimes you might have a new representative that's not realizing that they need to go and order books. I'm not sure how that happens, but sometimes they might, forget to order them. I really don't know how you would forget, because Avon kind of, pops it up there for you right before you submit your order. But maybe they, think that they don't want to spend the money on it, or they're, you need to help them realize you got to order your books. And if they don't have books, you see that they're not ordering them, then you need to help them and, get some to them, or get them, connected so that they know how to order them. So that is an important thing that you can do. But this is a very good tool. Using that genealogy tree, I think when I first started using Downline Manager, that is the main thing that I would always use. And then I got a little bit more jazzy and started, using some of the different reports and looking at the orders and sorting them by order size. You can also do that. If you look at all the different reports, there's lots of ways you can track whose award sales are the highest on your whole team. You can see who's tracking toward President's Club. All of that information is there, but definitely you want to take a look at that. Something else that you might want to note that is pretty neat on Downline Manager, if you are on your main home screen and you see where all the reports are and the action items are, you're also going to see that there's an area called static reports. Those are reports that are tied into all of the different Avon incentives and as well as advanced leadership that's rolling out. I would suggest that, if there's an incentive that you are going for or your team members are going for, that you take a look at that. Yep, and then there it is, just popped up. For example, the Orlando incentive, we just closed out campaign 13 on Tuesday, and I was following that pretty closely because I, was tracking to earn it, which I did. But if you, click on any of these different reports here, you're going to see all of the people that you appointed during that incentive period. You're going to be able to see if they had a $100 order, if they're close to a $100 order, it'll tell you how much you need to have them add to that order. So maybe they can place an add-on order to get them to that $100 mark. Lots of great things that you can do there. And, you need to know who paid on time. You can find all of that information on the incentive tracking. So when your district managers are talking about, are you tracking for this incentive? Yes, you can actually go and track it yourself on Downline Manager. It's a very, very useful tool that Avon has put up there. If you also look under static reports, it shows you under leadership tracking. Yep, that's it right there, where it says Advanced Leadership Get Fit. If you click on that tab, that's going to show you where you are currently performing, and it kind of simulates where you would fall in terms of what title, as well as how much you're going to be earning when Advanced Leadership rolls out in Campaign 17. So you really want to take a look at that and see, what level are you performing at? Are you performing at Ambassador? Are you performing at Silver Ambassador? How close are you to the next level? And then also, how are your leaders on your team doing? Something that you want to make sure that you're doing is, if you're looking at that Advanced Leadership tab and looking to see where your leaders are falling, you want to make sure that they know that too, that they know how close they are to hitting the next level. For example, I have somebody that's very close to hitting Silver Ambassador. She just needs to up her unit sales by a little bit, and she's going to be getting a pay raise. So we're kind of helping her to track for that, but that's pretty important to take a look at that. You can kind of help your leaders along and push them along and, help them grow to that next level, see what they need. It will be very, very clear and obvious when you click on that tab what people are going to need and how they're going to need to move forward. And then something that we had talked about yesterday when I was talking with the district manager is just about going over Downline Manager. And this is probably one of the most important things, is if you are a leader and you have other leaders on your team, candidates or whoever you might have on your team, that's aiming toward leadership, you need to teach them how to use Downline Manager, because this is an area that I think sometimes maybe gets overlooked, or I think for me, I didn't realize that at first, when I started leadership, and then, thought I had explained it well enough, and then here a few months later, one of my leaders is asking me, really basic questions about Downline Manager, and I thought, oh, I think I might need to train her on that and show her what to do. So if you feel proficient on Downline Manager, that's awesome. Make sure that you're also then taking the time to train, sit down with your leaders and show them how to use it as well, so that it can be a benefit for them in their businesses as well. Because what you do well, you want to duplicate. You want to teach them how to do it, and you want to create more people that are doing the same thing as you are doing. You don't want to have to continue doing it for them and reminding them, hey, this person didn't place an order. You might want to check in with them. You don't want to do that for your leaders. You want them to do it themselves. So teaching them how to do that is going to be a big help. I think that's pretty much all I have in terms of, just some of the ideas or, important things about Downline Manager. There's a ton more that you could sit and talk about, but you really need to go and look around yourself, unless there's anything I'm forgetting. I think I'm good.
Hey, Kristy.
I
have a question.
You're welcome. Yeah.
If you wouldn't mind, sorry to interrupt there, guys. We may have some fairly new candidates that are on this broadcast, and it's been a long time since I was a leader. So if you could just maybe tell us real quickly, where are they going to click on your Avon.com to access Downline Manager?
Okay, absolutely. When they log on, you want to click on that Sales Leadership tab. And then down the left-hand side of the screen on Sales Leadership, you're going to see the words Downline Manager are right there. You want to click on that, and then I think you have to click one more time, and then you're in. So it's pretty straightforward and easy to get to.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I'm checking the Q&A before we let Kristy off the hook here, but I think you covered everything that we talked about. That's like the crash course in Downline Manager, and like Kristy said, there's really not anything on there that you can damage or hurt. So get on there and play around with it and look around and see. There's a wealth of information on there. And like she said at the beginning, I'm a numbers person, so the numbers do tell you a big part of the story. They don't tell you the whole story, so that's where your personal contact comes in and your team community. So just some of the things that I know that Kristy touched on was that action item area, which is, as a manager, that's one of the first places we look to. We want to know who's doing good, who's doing, who needs our help, not who's necessarily doing bad, but who do we need to reach out to and see if they need a little boost or a little bit of help from us. Another great thing I heard Kristy say was how you can see how many books they're ordering. I'm so glad to hear that from leaders. Not that it's a good thing, but we as managers kind of look at that and say, why aren't they ordering books? Oh no, because we know as leaders and managers that if they don't have books, they're not going to have a business. So there is that area where you can see that too. And the genealogy tree, I do believe, Kristy, I wanted to make sure I asked you this before you did part with us, but when you pull up the genealogy tree, like I have leaders in my team that have 4th and 5th generations, that's the area where you can move that person to the top and see their downline, correct?
Yes, I think so. And I'm not, yes, because you can always move somebody to the top. And that's how you would work that. But if you're at the top, you can see your 3 generations below you. So you would want to move somebody else up to the top if you've got a 4th and a 5th generation to help them out. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And then I heard her also say that she can sort by order size, and that comes in back to where Angie did her great introduction for her with her recognition for her team, which is very important. That's how you're going to keep that community with your team, keep them motivated, keep them feeling great. So I'm so excited to hear you talk about that, Kristy. And the next one we hear a lot of our successful leaders talk about is that Kristy said that she tracks her incentives. So to start out with, you need to know what you have to get to earn the incentive, and then that tracking is just so valuable because that's where you can kind of check in and see how you're doing. And so congratulations on earning your dream ticket, Kristy.
Thank you.
And probably the advanced leadership is I'm sure a lot of leaders are going to be checking that one out now to see what they need to get their pay raise, basically, in Campaign 17. So thank you so much for sharing everything. Girls, do you have any questions for Kristy before we move on?
Gretchen, it's Janice. It made me think of something that I wanted to point out, and that is that as district managers, we only see the people, or can only pull up statistics in the genealogy trees for those representatives that are in our districts. So we do depend on our leaders to look at, some of that information, because if they have a new candidate who has appointed somebody in another district, we look at, we can't see that information, but they can, and we look to them, to get that, either get the information to us to help them, or, point it out to us. So, that's great. I mean, I really loved her talking about the genealogy tree, because it really is important.
Thank you.
Okay, Kristy, I don't see any questions in the queue right now, and you're welcome to stay around. I know you have a little one, so you're welcome to hop off if you want. And so, Kristy, how can people reach out to you if they want to connect with you, either on Facebook or email? If you want to share, if not, you don't have to.
Yeah, that's fine. No, well, I mean, if you're looking on youravon.com, I mean, one of those contact tabs, you can always contact that way, but that's more for customers. But that's youravon.com/Grove, Grovek. It's my last name. And then on Facebook, it's just Kristy Grove. So, and I'm connected with a lot of people on Avon, so chances are you'll be able to find me that way. So,
thanks a lot, Kristy. Such great information. And I have to tell you, it's really hard for managers to train on Downline Manager. We have a similar system, but it's a little different. So we find the same information in different ways, but we always get there. So we kind of use the same info. So it's always nice to hear from a leader. And I have to encourage you, like Kristy said, if you want to learn more about it, contact your upline or your district manager. We can sit down with you, or even do a screen share with you over the internet, and help you find different areas in some of the reports that we did talk about. So right now we're going to pass it over to another Kristy, Miss Kristy Alley, and she's going to share a little bit of helpful information as well. So Kristy, take it away.
Thanks, Gretchen, and thank you, Kristy. We really appreciate your time with us. So we talked a lot with Kristy about Downline Manager today, and I want to speak to you for just a moment about how you can use some of these tools that Kristy mentioned to grow your team, and most importantly, you've got to grow your income, right? That's what we all want, is to have that income. That is our goal. So let's talk about this first by just kind of using an example. So let's say you're really super excited. You had 2 new representatives place their first order. They both hit 100, and even one of them was recruited by a new leader on your team. So it was their first recruit. Very exciting. You have a new candidate. You have 2 new appointments with $100 orders. It's going great, right? You're feeling really good. You've got 22 team members, and let's say that you're so happy, you're so stoked, because you're thinking, now I'm going to have 24, I'm climbing, I'm going up. That's what happens. The campaign closes out nationally, and it says you have 19, and you're like, this thing is broke. What the heck? There's no way. I just added 2 new people, so what's going on? So something has happened, and some of you know what this is because you've already been doing it. But let's say in this example, you've had 3 people who were inactive for 5 campaigns, and they got removed when the campaign closed, and you had 2 people who were past due 3 campaigns. They were removed also when the campaign closed. So you lost 5 people, and those 2, they just helped you a little bit not to fall as far. So now you're feeling like, well, darn, everything I thought was so great, it was just all for nothing. I'm just going backwards. But that's not really true. What we want to do here is start to think about what could have been the solution. So let's look at what could have been done to avoid this. And I know that Kelly is going to go into more detail about this, but it is a pretty simple, a simple formula. So number 1, checking your inactive representatives every campaign as soon as we close out nationally. And if you need that date, get with your manager. We'll get that for you. But contact all of them and be sure to pay special and close attention, calling, texting, and emailing, Facebooking, shouting from a rooftop, whatever you can do with those that are in Active 5. So we don't want to only contact them, but we want to really, really focus hard because they are going to remove when the campaign closes if they don't place an order. And then the second thing you're going to do is you're going to check your past due representatives every single campaign when we close out nationally, and you're going to call everyone. You're going to contact them all, but you're going to pay really close attention to the past due 3 representatives because they will remove when we close out nationally. And one thing that you want to do for sure is remind the representative that they're going to accrue a late fee if they don't pay that balance before the next campaign closes out. They may have already accrued some, and so you can let them know this is going to just keep going up and really be their partner and help them out with that. And then, of course, encourage them as well as the inactive to place their order so they'll have the needed supplies to continue their business as well as the products that they and their customers are running out of. We do have a brochure link that I'm sure most all of you have seen. If you have not, I will post this brochure link to the Leadership Bootcamp page. This is a really great tool that can be used with your inactive 5 or all of your inactive and your past due representatives. You can send this link, and it's actually just an electronic copy of the brochure. So they can email and text this out. Folks can shop just as if it were a real book. It's just an electronic brochure copy and write down their orders just like they would if they had a paper copy. That can help these past due representatives to go ahead and get going again, get another order, and also your active representatives to do the same. So I will share that on Leadership Bootcamp. Next, you need to contact all of your pending. So everybody who's in that pending section, we need to make sure that they are aware of their order dates, that you have assisted them with their training. If maybe they've not answered you, definitely going back and trying to set up that training with them again. And then, of course, reminding them about their HIT 100 and really watching to make sure that they're not getting close to the 30-day mark where they're not able to take advantage of HIT 100. So that's something that could slip by if we're not looking at the pending every single campaign. The other thing you're going to really need to look at, because in this example I think I forgot to mention it, but you also lost 2 people who were pending. So now you have 2 less people that you can work with to grow your team because they went 7 campaigns without placing their order and now they've been removed. So we have to watch that as well, to not let those pending just kind of come in and go out for no reason. And then the fourth thing, of course, and we've been working on this the whole boot camp, recruit. You'll need to keep finding new team members so that the people that you add are greater than the people that you remove. That's how you grow. If we added 10 people this campaign but lost 12, guess what? We still went backwards. So we've got to not just recruit. It's hand in hand. There's a balance with both, and Downline Manager is your key to success with making sure that you do manage both of them. It's a simple formula. We need new team members, plus we need lowered removals, and that is your recipe for growth. We've got to have more people added than we do removed every single campaign. So thank you guys for your time. I'm going to turn it over to Kelly, and she's going to, I'm sure, give us some great details on those past due and inactive folks.
Thanks so much, Kristy. And I apologize for my technical difficulty earlier today, so hopefully I'm able to stay on this time. The third, fourth time is always the charm. At least that's how it goes. So my topic today is very similar to Kristy's. I'm going to add a little, sprinkle in a few more things, and it's about what we call curbing your removals, right? So as we like to say, additions are good, and removals, well, they make us sad. They make us very sad, right? So nobody wants to be sad. We want to be happy. So really a big part of that is being proactive. And when we say that, Kristy mentioned inactive 5 and past due 3. So what happens is once somebody is in active 5 campaigns, it means they haven't placed an order, they're going to be removed, as she said, at the close of the campaign. You know, we really don't want to get to the point where they're in active 5 and past due 3, because sometimes by the time you've placed your order and you've kind of put all your ducks in a row, your time is running out, right? And so we're at the last 3 days before order closes, and now we're trying to get people to put an order in, and maybe we've missed the mark. So really it's about looking at who is inactive for and past due to, right? We're being proactive about it. Nobody wants to find out from, you know, a report down the line that, oops, I'm missing people. How am I missing people? How did that happen? How did I miss that? You know, maybe your manager sends you out a email that entails who's past due 4, or excuse me, past due 4, hello, they're gone by then, right? Who's in active 4 and active 5, past due 2 and past due 3. So you want to know before that information comes to you. So when they are in active 4, that means you have the current campaign that they're in and the next campaign to get them active again. One very easy way, and I know we've talked about this in the past, I know Janice has shared quite a few information on other broadcasts about this, but it's the e-store. Okay, so maybe this person is more of a personal shopper. Maybe life has taken hold and they're really busy right now. Easiest way to put in an order, for example, yesterday and today we have the free shipping with an order of $25 or more. That's not a huge order, right? But maybe they're out of deodorant, and you know, you always can use a new mascara, and what about that eyeliner, and well, you know, you might need a little sunscreen because you're going to the beach. So it's much more simpler for someone to put together a $25 order, place it on their own e-store, and keep themselves active. They can share their e-store address on Facebook as well. One little tip that you may or may not be aware of, when you or your customer shops the e-store, at checkout they have the option to add a free brochure and add a Mark Magalog. So you can get your brochure, your Magalog, and Avon even is so nice sometimes they throw in a few samples. So it's a great way that person has now placed an order, they're active once again, and now they actually have that brochure in hand and a Mark Magalog they can send out to customers. I personally love Kristy's idea. We started using this in our 2 districts. We post it on Facebook and we send it out via email, and that's the links. I'm telling you, that's a beautiful thing. It's very easy. You can get a link to go back for 3 campaigns, as well as going through the Mark Magalog, and as well as going through the What's New. So they can see a little bit of everything and can shop that way. And again, it's easy. All you have to do is send it via email. For those past due twos, what if that past due balance is only $35? You can work with them to figure out how many e-store customers is it going to take to then have those earnings be deposited into that account and theoretically pay off that balance. So again, it's about reaching out to them, and really when we say reaching out, it's having that phone call, making the phone call to say, hey, I see how you haven't had a chance to put an order in a while, but I just wanted to see how are things going with you, right? It's more about how are things going with them and what's going on and how can we help them than just that other part. That other part can come a little bit later. So you want to utilize your Downline Manager, click on the links that say past due and inactive, and be proactive to find out who those people are and look for ways that are easy for you to help them and for them to help themselves. So again, we want to curb those removals and up those paychecks. Thank you all very much, and now it's over to Gretchen.
I'm sure they like the sounds of that, up your paychecks. That was the last line, and I know that's what everyone hung on to, up your paychecks. And that's how you do it, both from Kristy and Kelly, is curbing the removals. Make sure you're not spinning your wheels. Like I've heard a lot of my leaders say, you know, I just feel like I'm spinning my wheels. So, you know, if you're a title leader, you have to look at all 3 generations for all that. And everything that you heard Kristy and Kelly talking about, you can find and predict by looking at your reports on Downline Manager. So I have some screenshots, and like I said, Downline Manager is a little difficult. We have to, you know, when we're doing a broadcast like this, we have to be very sensitive to the information because we have account numbers. So I've covered the account numbers up and everything, and we're gonna have just a few screenshots here that'll help us talk a little bit about just some of the things that you can utilize your Downline Manager for. So you can see a screenshot on the screen right now, and it's we're going to go over some reports to help you learn a little bit more about what all you can really use this for and what type of things it's going to help your business with. And it really is all, just like Kelly and Kristy said, about growth and helping you bring on more than you're losing so that you continue to go forward and not sidestep or backstep. So this is what the home screen of Downline Manager looks like. And you have to be a leadership representative to have access to this, and you have to, click on the Downline Manager and agree to the terms for the first time you use it and everything. But once you get in here, you have this great, in the background here, you can see the bar graph that really gives you an idea of where you are this year compared to last year. This is a new representative, so the bars aren't, really a good display for you to see right now, but when you log on, you'll see it yourself. You can see the action items here, and this is, like I said, a newer representative, so they may not have as many action items as you're going to have, but this is where you're going to see the information that Kelly and Kristy just talked about, where you can see your representatives that are going to be inactive, that they're currently inactive 5 campaigns, and you don't want to let them go 6 because they're going to fall off. Also, it's going to tell you how many pending appointments you have right now. And as Kristy said, you don't want to let them fall off, because when they fall off, a pending appointment is just, really they're not a representative until they place an order. So if they fall off, if they don't place an order, they're going to have to re-sign up as a new representative, just like they were never a representative, and pay that $15 appointment fee again. So you really want to make sure that you're paying attention to those action item areas and reaching out to them. And on this, I just wanted to make sure you could see the list of reports on here. And you heard Kristy Grove earlier talk about recognition. Here's where you can see your Avon anniversaries. So one thing as a leader, to help you create that team feeling and community within your team, and to make your downline feel like you appreciate them, not just call them when, hey, you didn't recruit anybody this campaign, or hey, you didn't place an order. This is a really good area where you can really look at for recognition. Avon anniversaries, if they're having an anniversary this month, shoot them out. You can even use an e-card. Anything that you do to recognize them makes them feel a little special. Same thing with birthdays. We have representatives that go as far as sending them a little birthday gift. Once you get 300, 400, or 1,000 or more representatives on your team, that gets a little more difficult, but some leaders still do it. They might use automated systems where they can send out something to them automatically, but once you get your business built up that far, you have a little bit more money to play with. But to start out, if you want to start out small, Avon has provided so many great in-depth tools on our Downline Manager for you that you really can just click on the birthdays, sort it by the dates that you want, and shoot out an e-card. Or you can copy the emails and send out an e-card from Blue Mountain. I mean, there's so many opportunities you have just to let your people know that, hey, I noticed it's your anniversary. Congratulations on being here for 10 years. I just wanted to give you a shout out and thank you for being such a valuable member of my team. Another area that is a major focus right now and a huge opportunity for you to really increase your team sales and your growth and your earnings, as well as your downline representative earnings, is this one right here, direct delivery. We need more people taking advantage of all the great tools and, oh my gosh, the great bargains that Avon is offering your customers right now. So we need more training on this for our representatives. So make sure you're looking at this direct delivery report so you can see who in your downline has an active e-store, who in your downline is getting sales each campaign from that e-store. This is another area of recognition you might want to add. I know I've seen some leaders start to add that already. It's also an area where you can reach out to them. I mean, this is a great tool for you to help increase your team sales right now. And as we lead into Get Fit and Advanced Leadership, where you need to have more sales, this little button right here can do it for you. Reach out to anybody on that list who does not have an active e-store or is not getting sales on their every campaign, and give them some tips and let them know what a major benefit that is to them. They're going to get more sales on there than they would from a person-to-person order because of the add-on. I mean, the marketing online for your direct delivery it comes directly from our marketing people, our marketing department at Avon. So there's so many, buy this, get this. There's so many specials. I mean, we were giving away a free stainless steel kit for a certain amount of orders from direct delivery. So it's an amazing opportunity that I think we need more representatives really paying attention to. And a lot of them don't pay attention to it because they just don't know about it. Or maybe they've been here when we used to charge for that e-store and they just haven't activated their e-store again because they think they have to pay for it. So reach out to them, and that's a really good way that you can really dramatically increase your team sales. Geography search, this is a great one for the leaders in big areas that we have here in the East Coast, especially. You can pop in a zip code and say you're going to be in a certain area and you want to see if you have any team members in that area that can come out and meet you. You can pop in the zip code and do like a 20 or 30 mile radius, and it'll pop up all the representatives on your team, and you can shoot out a quick email or you can send out a text. It'll give you all their phone numbers and everything. As you heard Kristy Grove talk about, you always want to make sure you're visiting the hold orders. Another area, the hold order area doesn't update as quickly as most of our leaders would like, but you can always look at that inquiry button on each specific person and see if they have an order on hold. This is also the inactivity report that would show up on your action item area. Leadership performance, another great tool that shows you all the leaders you have in your downline. If you have any nested downline. New uplines, that's where you would see your new candidates, pending or actual. No order list, you can do a lot with that one. You're going to see a little bit more on that one here in just a minute. And your past due, you would also see the past due in your action items, but it's going to show you the past due 3. Here, if you want to be really proactive, you can go and change it to past due 2 and past due 1 and just reach out to them and see what issues that they're having that you can help them with. Pending appointments, President's Club, recognition is going to show you anybody on your team that has earned incentives, whether it be the PRP points or Hit 100 or anything that is currently going on. And my little screen out here. And then your removals, of course. And then this is the screen that really I had up just so Kristy could kind of show you the area. Below this part right here, I know a lot of my leaders use the part below here because you can actually do a campaign comparison from like campaign 14 of last year to campaign 14 of this year, or campaign 13 to campaign 14. That's where you can see how many total representatives you have. So if you look right here, where Kristy Alley was talking to you about growth, you have your representatives, each campaign posted right here. It's also on your leadership report. If you go to the inquiry button, pull yourself up and go to that leadership tab, you can see your representative number for your last 6 campaigns on there, and you can also pull the view history report up and view your past year. But this is where you're going to go each campaign to see how many representatives you have. And then one of the things that we look at as managers is how many orders you have in each generation. So you can sort it by first, second, and third, and you can also see your total orders from all 3 generations. So this is where we find your activity rate. So you take your total orders and divide it by the number of representatives you have, and that gives you your percentage of your activity. It also gives you a really quick look at how many new appointments you have across all 3 generations. And then once this each RPS updates, you'll see your removals down here. So this is an area where you want to really pay close attention to, and you really don't want to wait until it shows up on here. Like Kristy said, you want to keep looking ahead. Again, over here is a lot of those reports that we just saw on that other screen. It's just a different way to get to them. And then you have some of the static reports like Kristy Groves was talking about with most of the important incentives, and then your Get Fit tracking. AUL Academy, I really want to touch on that because now as soon as they make unit leader, they can get into AUL Academy. And you learn so much valuable information and leadership skills in the AUL Academy that you really want anybody on your team that's serious about their business, you want them to join that AUL Academy. So if we go back to the screen really quick, you can see that the green arrow is pointing to the Hit 100 challenge, and I just kind of wanted to give you a screenshot of what that looks like when you bring this up. It's going to list everybody in your downline. Again, this is a new representative, so there's only going to be a couple of people in hers. But here on this Hit 100 challenge, it shows her that this person right here has already placed a $100 third order. Well, they need to by June 29th, which they already have, but it's just not updated yet. To date, so far, this person has received 2 sample bundles and earned $40 in rebates that they have banked. So this is a person that they want to make sure, hey, keep placing those $100 orders and make sure you place that 5th $100 order so you can get this money that is already yours, it's just waiting there in the bank for Avon to pay it out as long as you finish what's required in this incentive. And they have to, even if he doesn't place, or he or she, whoever this is, even if this representative doesn't place any other orders, they want to place that 5th order of $100 to get the bank bonus that they have right now. So that's very important that you, as Kristy Grove was talking about, tracking those incentives and helping. This is a great motivational tool that you have with your representatives. So you can call this person up here and say, look, you haven't banked any bonuses, but you still have this many campaigns, and look at the sales, only $33 away from getting a $20 banked bonus. So these are the types of things that you can look at on your Downline Manager and reach out and just push these people a little bit and motivate them, because are they making any money with a $67 order? No, they're not. But if you can convince them to get this bonus, they can earn a $100 cash bonus. They can get some free samples sent to them. They can get that free bundle, and they can earn all kind of money with using those samples and products. Okay, again, this is going to the customizable report tab at the top, and then we're going to go down here to sales. This is another area Kristy kind of touched on, but we're going to look at a couple of other different things you can do with this. Of course, you can see how many sales they have to do recognition for the top people in your downline. But you can customize this as well. You can change the campaigns that you want to look at sales. I just changed this one to look at the current and previous 6 campaigns. And I put in $135 in award sales and just put $999 so there's no maximum. Of course, we want active. You can change this generation to first, second, third, whatever you want, but for this example, we just wanted the first generation, because I'm going to show you a little trick that we share a lot with our leaders. So this is going to bring up every representative in my first generation that has award sales between $135 or more from campaign 8 until campaign 15. So each campaign that they've done that, they're going to show up on this report. And keep in mind, this is a new leader, so they don't have a lot of people in their downline. But you can see it's going to bring up campaign 8. This person had 235 in award sales, and the green circle is around this person because this person actually is the same person. So there was 2 campaigns where this person had the amount of sales that we put in our search. So what I could do with this list is I can reach out to these people that are on this list and say, look, your sales are already really good. You already have the amount that you need that already qualifies you to be a unit leader. You need $200 in personal sales to be a unit leader, and you've already met that qualification. And I'm going to talk to them about all the extra money that they can earn with the Get Fit incentive, the recruiting incentive, the fast track incentive. Not to mention, once you make unit leader, you're going to start earning a check for every person that you brought into Avon. You're going to earn a percentage of their sales for every campaign that you qualify at unit leader or above. And that's going to help me get new candidates on my team. So this is a very important report that you can look at for their award sales. You can pull up, if you want them to be closer to 200, you can put in 190, or you can put in 200. If they have the selling part of it down, you saw with the new advanced leadership, the first part of leadership is now teaching others how to sell. You have a passion for selling, and you can show others how to sell. So these people have already got that part down. What's another thing that we can use this for? In addition to needing leaders on our team, having President's Club representatives on our team is another great way that you can use this tool. Who is close to tracking for the amount of average sales every campaign that they need to be in President's Club? So I personally like to focus on 400 in sales, but if they're around 350, 385, you can change that the sales range here to be whatever you want it. So if you want them, if they're over 300, maybe you want to do a Vice President's Club in your team. And these are people that are just really shy of getting that average amount that they need to reach President's Club. And so you can create a Vice President's Club on your team and have little group meetings online or in person or over the phone just to talk about, how they can up their sales and how are they tracking towards President's Club, and get them focused on reaching President's Club. What is that going to do? Think about what that'll do for your sales and your team. Another area, follow-up. That is a great report that you want to look at because it's going to give you some important data, important contacts that you want to make sure that you're reaching out to and making. Also, this is the direct delivery report that we talked about earlier, and you can change it to your first, second, and third generation. You can just pull up each generation, however you want to do that. And it's going to bring up everybody, like we said earlier, that it's going to show you whether they have online sales or not, and if they've ever had online sales or not. Another really important report that I think is overlooked a lot is under the no orders you can pull up negative orders. And what that is when you pull up the report and you see that their sales are in red, that's a negative order. And I want to make sure you know how that affects your earnings. As a leader, you earn on people's sales when they pay for their orders. When they do a return, this is a return that is more than their current sales, this is when you're going to see the negative orders in red. And if they're returning stuff that you've already earned a percentage of their profit on, you are now, when they have a negative amount, you're now going to not earn that amount anymore. So it's taking away from your earnings, basically. So this is an area, if you see somebody that's sending returns in, the first thing that comes to my mind is a red flag, because I want to teach them how to sell those products rather than return them. If they're taking large bundles to make President's Club or get those double dollars, that's great, but as a leader, you want to be right there on them, on top of that issue, and saying, okay, let's talk about what you're going to do to sell these bundles. Because when they sell those bundles, oh my gosh, they're going to make so much money, and you are too. But what happens if they have to return those because they didn't sell them? So you want to make sure that you're planning with them, okay, how many of these do you need to sell to pay for the entire bundle? What kind of deals do you want to offer? Who are you going to talk to? How are you going to do it? When are you going to have this done? That's really what causes a lot of these negative orders, because that, it's a larger return. It could be something little. It could be, Susie Sunshine always orders the wrong size shoes, and I have to send them back every time and get her a new pair. So these are just things where you can, as a leader, help them and coach them on different solutions rather than doing returns. Another area, I love this, I've been polling people all week and asking them what they do with their earnings statement. And most everyone said, I just look at the amount I'm getting paid, and that's all I use that for. So, and I do understand that, because we all want to know how much money we're going to have in our bank account. And it's exciting on check day. You can earn money from bringing people into Avon and having fun and doing what they love, and it's fun. What a fun way to earn money. But this is your leadership earnings statement. Of course, I've cut off any identifying information. So over to the left, you would have each person that's in your downline. You would have their name and their phone number, which makes this earnings statement even more beneficial, because it's a little 3 or 4 or 5. Some pages, or some of you have 10, 12 pages or more. But you have every person on your team, on your first 3 generations, on this earnings statement. And this is kind of an after-the-fact tool, because this earnings statement doesn't come out until the campaign closes nationally, but it's still a very useful tool that you can use. So just some of the things that you see on here, you can see that, like right here, this person is new. This is the past due column. So these are the people that are, kind of, uh-oh, what do I need to do? Can I reach out to them and help them? And of course, they didn't place an order right here. This one's past due too, but did place an order. So that's going to be one of the priorities. I'm going to call this person and say, look, I noticed you have an order on hold. And it's on hold because Avon doesn't show a payment for the last 2 campaigns. And I wanted to see what I can do to help you out and see what kind of troubles you're having, so we can get it solved and get your business back on track. You can see the award sales of every person on your team. You can see what percentage you're going to earn from them, and the potential bonus or earnings that you're going to get for next campaign, and what you've earned on this current payout. But for this example, the award sales column, the past due column, and you can see right here, this one's President's Club already. $502 in sales. I want to shoot out a quick text or phone call and say, oh my gosh, great sales this time. I'm earning almost $12 off of that person, so I don't want to just kind of leave them hanging all year and just see them at the President's Club Awards banquet and say, oh yeah, hey, I'm your upline. And they're thinking, oh yeah, what do you do for me? So just a tip, not all of them are like that. They don't really all think that. But your President's Club are the more established people. They know what they're doing. They know how to get sales. But again, you do want to make them feel important. They might be somebody you can reach out to and say, hey, Susie Sunshine, how did you get that 500 in sales last campaign? Everyone was struggling. You did wonderful. What did you do? And they might be somebody that you can have speak on your team conference call, or if you're having in-person meetings, you can have them speak in person. Or how about if you just do a little recorded call with them, and as you're asking them questions, of course you want to get their permission, and that's a recorded call-in that your team can call in and listen to and get some sales ideas from this person because they obviously know how to sell. Past due 4 removed. This is somebody I want to reach out to before it goes too much further and get them back in the game. Also, you want to determine, like Kristy Grove said, the numbers do tell a big part of the story, but I have to tell you, just yesterday I talked to 2 people that just got out of the hospital. And had I not called and talked to them, I would never know that. So, the first thing they did was thank me for caring, thank me for checking on them. And then I know, we talked about what we can do to help them get back on track. So sometimes it's just as simple as reaching out to them to really understand what's going on in their life. These green circles right here, these are people that you can see aren't leadership and they're not PC yet. So I want to reach out to them and say, you had great sales. You're already qualifying at or near President's Club level, and I want to make sure you know about the great earning opportunity that you have with the leadership portion of the 2 ways to sell and 2 ways to earn with Avon. And I can talk to them about all the bonuses and incentives. And again, look at how much you're earning, $318, $11.60, $13. I mean, this is a great tool to help you learn where to focus your time. Here's another page of this earning statement. Here's a candidate that has just under $200 in sales. So, I want to reach out to this candidate and offer them a little bit more leadership training, sales training, coach them on who else they know that they can bring into Avon and get them on that fast track earnings. Because it's obviously somebody that really, at one point in time, had the intentions of doing something more with their business. So we want to make sure that we can re-spark those flames, or at least try to. Sometimes, as leaders, that's just impossible. Their flame is doused. But, this is a tool that you can use to kind of look at, okay, what can I do with this person? And you'll know the name if you've already tried 100 times, and you'll know not to worry about it. But this is something that you can look back with your leadership earnings and do with your campaign planning, which I know you're all doing, right? Campaign planning, right? All the managers sit there going, yeah. And again, down here we have somebody that's past due 3 that we want to reach out to and just say, what can I help you with? Here's one that's past due 1 and didn't place an order, probably because they know they're past due 1. But we can just reach out and get them back on track. Sometimes it's really embarrassing. Some people just have a hard week or a hard month. And just that little hand that we can give them to reach out to really does help. And lost my screen, but I think that was the last slide that we had to show you. But the earning statement is a great tool. It does come after the fact. You can keep up ahead of time with the Downline manager. And there's so much on there that you can use to help you create that team community. And you hear us talking about team community because you're their leader. I mean, do you want them to stay loyal to you? You want them to feel comfortable coming to you with problems or issues that they're having. You want them to know that you're there to help them out, not just earn a paycheck from them and see them at PC once a year. And your upline and your district sales manager can help you learn all those reports. If you're not comfortable learning them yourself, we can, like I said, we can do screen shares with you. But we're going to talk a little bit more about, how other ways that you can do the create those communities. I mean, we've talked in the past about having your own little conference calls, having your own little hangouts online. having your own meetings. I have representative leaders that do picnics with the representatives. And Janice is going to tell you about another area that helps you get that camaraderie and team community feeling there, as well as getting the money coming in. So Janice, take it away.
Okay, thanks, Gretchen. And, you know, Gretchen talked a little bit about creating community. And, of course, that's what you want to do. You want your team is an extension of your family. They're your community. They're your, you know, whatever you want to call it. And so one of the things you want to help your family do is to grow. You don't want to ignore them. I mean, it'd be like raising a child and never teaching them anything or taking them anywhere or, you know, showing them the world. And, you know, this team becomes your little community, your little family, and what you want to do is help them grow. And one of the ways you can help them grow is by having events. And when we say events, we mean things like a tent event or, you know, canopy, someplace where you can go and set your canopy up and put out a table and maybe have a few products or, you know, just information to share with people and to, you know, to recruit or, you know, it's like our walk and talks that we talk about all the time. Job fairs is another great place. But let's go back a minute, because all of these events and all the things we can talk about don't mean a thing if you don't plan for them. And Gretchen touched on planning. And as managers, you know, district managers, we firmly believe in planning. We plan, we look at things all the time, we look ahead. So one of the things I like to challenge our leaders to do is to plan events, plan where you'll be so that you can reach out to your team and share your calendar, let them know, you know, if you're going to be at a job fair or if you're going to be at a community festival or anything like that. That way they know that where you'll be and where they can come and share time with you. And as we all know, everybody has busy lives. We have those families. We have those children. We have those, you know, some people still work. They don't, you know, Avon isn't their career yet. And so they need to plan to be able to be at things. They need to, you know where you're going to be. So one of the things we'd like to challenge you as a leader to do is to plan, to set a calendar of what you're doing. You know, are you going to plan, you know, tomorrow to be at the town park or wherever it might be? So just another idea of some of those events and things. Like I said, you know, local festivals and fairs. Everybody talks about how busy it is in the summer, or that, you know, that things slow down with Avon. Well, why should they? They really shouldn't. We sell tons and tons of products that people need every day through the summer, like Bug Guard and sunscreen and chapstick, and, you know, because you get out there in the sun, you need chapstick on. We don't think about that, but people do still need it. So fairs and festivals, everybody's going to them. You know, why try to put yourself out and figure where people will be? They'll be at fairs, they'll be at festivals. You know, and I hear, well, it's hard to get in, it costs a lot of money to set up there. No, you don't always have to set up or have a table. You know, everybody has that shoulder bag, those cute little Avon bags and things that we have, and the slings. You know, you can get a bag that, you know, says Avon on it. Carry that with you when you're at a fair or a festival, and have brochures in what we call the door knocker, or the Avon bags, the little plastic bags that have the hole in them. If you hand someone a brochure and give them samples that's in that bag that you're talking to when you're at a fair or festival, they're going to take it with them and carry it with them, because they're picking things up on other tables and all too. And you're now the hero that gave them away, you know, to carry those things around. So, you know, yeah, do they want you to hand them a brochure? Well, no, of course not. Where are they going to carry it? You know, they're at a festival. They're not, you know, going around knowing that they're picking things up. So when you give them that little bag that has your information in it, you know, it could have some recruiting information, it could have samples, it can have a brochure, it can have an introduction from you. I know one of the representatives, one of the leaders in my district, she has a great little card that she hands out to people, and she actually offers them a small discount if in their first order they bring some other orders also along. Talk to their mom, talk to somebody else, and bring some orders. And she recruits for her team that way also. So what other places? What about yard sales? I mean, every Friday, every Saturday, you can find yard sales. I was somewhere this morning at an appointment, and we were talking about yard sales, and the lady I was with said, "Boy, I haven't been to a yard sale in a couple of weeks. I really need to go this weekend. I hope it doesn't rain." So everybody's looking for yard sales. Everybody's out there. So you can either have a yard sale or participate in a yard sale, or much like I was talking about with those fairs and festivals, visit yard sales. We did a challenge one time last year with the district, and it was whoever could visit the most yard sales won. And what they did was carry those tote bags with them, hand out brochures. Let's see. Now, somebody's having a yard sale. Why would they have a yard sale? Would it be that they need to cash in on, and bring in some extra money? Oh, who better to be an Avon representative and for us to show them how they can have those extra earnings and that little extra income with Avon. Oh my gosh. So we definitely want to see the host of the yard sale, and there's always people around. What about having a table in a restaurant or a retail location? Don't think they'd let you? Oh yes, they will. Many of us have small hometown restaurants or things where we frequent. I bet that none of them would mind if you asked them if you could come in and sit at one of their tables for an hour or two and give out samples or give out brochures, give out things. And what if you post that on your Facebook page that you're going to be there and encourage your customers to come there and meet you? Well, my gosh, then you're helping the restaurant because they're bringing in business. You're helping your Avon business. And what a better way to display some of your products and have your customers see them. And Gretchen touched on something a while ago about parks and things. Why not call up a few of your team and say, let's bring the children and meet at the park today? There's lots of other mothers at the park. And when they see Avon products on your table, and don't forget to tell your customers also where you'll be. Oh, but that takes planning, doesn't it? Oh, that's right. There's that planning. Okay, so everybody got those calendars out? Get your calendar out. Start marking in those places. Let's hear about that calendar. We want to hear about it. We want to hear where you're going to be, when you're going to be there, and you want to let your team know and your customers, and because remember, your team that's your family. And who doesn't want to go out and I hate to say that word, work your Avon business, because it's not work. So who doesn't want to go out and have fun in their Avon business? And the members of your team and your little community, they're just like you. They love to get together and talk about Avon. They love to get together and share the Avon opportunity with other people. So don't go do it yourself. Plan that calendar and invite your team to come with you and do those. Now, one thing we didn't talk about yet is canvassing neighborhoods. And, that's where we came from, folks. Avon's going to be celebrating our 130th anniversary this year. We're 130 years old. We've been around for a long time. And we started out, ding dong, Avon lady calling, knocking on doors. And at this time of year, people are in their yards. You don't even have to knock on their door. They might be out arranging their flowers or, working in their flower garden or getting ready 130, that's right, Gretchen. They might be outside, and all you have to do is walk by. And once again, if you have those bags with the brochures and anything you want to give them all put together, they're more than willing to take it. And you know what? If you take the children with you, they'll talk to you even more because they love to see children. So don't worry about, taking your children. Don't say, oh, I have the children today. I can't, get out and do anything. Children love to go to parks. They love to go to community swimming pools. They love to go to community events. And they love talking to the little old lady down the street who's out working on her flowers. So have fun, plan, let's make it a challenge. I challenge everybody listening to get out there and plan that calendar, share it with your team/family, and have some fun. This weekend, next week, the weekend after, let's get out there and let's really plan that fun with Avon. Okay, so I'm going to pass it over to Kristy now. I think even though this might be our quote-unquote this will be our final challenge, it's totally not our final broadcast. I think we're going to come back and talk about the last challenge, right, girls?
Absolutely, and the graduates.
Yes.
I just have a really quick question for you, Janice. Did I just hear you right? Did you just tell me to plan time on my calendar to take my daughter out to the park? Is that what I heard you say?
Yes, I did.
Wouldn't that be neat? Who else could have a job like that?
Not if you're tied down to a desk somewhere, or Yeah.
So let's hear what Kristy has for our last challenge.
Thanks, guys. Let me get this pulled up. Okay, so this is our last challenge. We are so excited to do something that we feel is really going to benefit you now and down the road. So this time the challenge is that we're going to, of course, have our regular Google Doc, and we're going to have you to submit your numbers. So for campaign 15. So what we're asking for is going to be a lot of what we've talked about today. How many are you expecting will leave as inactive 5? How many are past due 3? Those sorts of questions. We're going to have you dive in and find those answers and answer them on the Google Doc. And through that, then we're going to ask you, what are you projecting? What are you thinking you're going to have as far as a gain or a loss in campaign 15 in your team? Are you going to have more representatives when it's over, or are you going to have less? Don't panic if you're going to have less, because the reason we're doing this, and we're doing it early, is that you can still dive in there and work on it. You can lower the removals. You can raise the new team members placing orders. Lots of options. So we're having you to do this, enter it. That is your badge. So it's very simple. It's just doing that homework for that badge. And for the extra credit, we are going to actually give you 2 challenges this time that you can get extra credit for. So hopefully everyone should be able to earn their 6 and graduate. One of those is going to be to work those numbers that you reported, lower the removals, raise your new team members to the point where you grow staff. So even if you grow by 1, that's going to count. So you're going to aim to grow staff to get that extra credit badge. And the second extra credit badge is going to be when you have at least 1 new team member who places their first order of at least $100. So those are your 2 extra credit badges and your regular badge, and we are very excited to watch you all grow through this and hopefully build the habit of doing it every single campaign. Thanks, and I'll turn it back over to you, Gretchen.
Thank you very much, ladies. So I have to tell you how, I'm glad Janice reminded us that the 130th birthday for Avon is coming up. And actually one of Janice's leaders created a really nice flyer the other day that said something to that effect. What other direct seller do you know that's been around for 130 years? Think about how long that is. That is very exciting. I cannot be more prouder to be associated with such a great company that has been here. It's an American icon to most people. I mean, who does not know the Avon name? So that's a great opportunity for you to get new representatives on your team. And to let them know that, hey, we've been here for 130 years. We're not going anywhere anytime soon. One of the tools that we did not mention, I think somebody touched on knowing when your RPS updates are in your downline. And I have to give a shout out and a great big thanks to our Joy Sturgis, who's in our Avon field training department, for updating the roadmap so that your leadership roadmap now has in one spot every RPS on it. So it's a great help to us managers, and it's a great help to leaders as well, because you can look on that and see, if you have somebody that's an RPS 10, when is the last time that person can add a person on their team? And that's a really good way that you can, the projections that Kristy's challenging you for, that's a really good way that you can add some more people to your downline to help offset some of the removals that you might have in the earlier RPSs. So make sure you're checking out those leadership maps. You can get them on youravon.com, and that'll help you focus on growth. And what a better time, as Janice said, to do events. The weather is nice. There's all kind of fairs going on. There's all kind of craft shows, events, job fairs. The fall season, we have people already planning now for events. And I have to tell you, going along the lines of the events, one of my leaders, I think it was just last weekend, she sent me a private picture. I think I already told you about it maybe, but I mean, she had a wad of cash that you had to hold in two hands. It was a lot of money. I'm not going to tell you how much, but it was four figures. It was a lot of money. She made it one day doing an Avon table at a flea market. It's huge. It's a huge opportunity for you. I mean, most people don't make that money in a month, and she made it in one day. So, we've shared a lot of tools with you to help you with one of the other areas we hear a lot of our representatives saying is time management. So your downline manager and your earnings statements can really help you with that time management issue, because you can get a laser focus in on the top people that you want to work with and the people that you want to spend your time with. So those are both areas that will help you do that. I love the challenge. Kristy picked out a perfect challenge for our final session, because that's something that's really going to help you get in there and do those reports. If you have trouble while you're doing that, reach out to your upline or your manager, and we'll be glad to help you find that information on those reports. So once again, thank you for staying with us through the spring season of our Avon Leadership Bootcamp. We love hearing your feedback. We've heard from so many of you, and it's exciting to hear about all the growth and earnings that you're getting and tips that you're taking away from our managers that have shared and the leaders that have been so gracious to share their time with us. We thank you all for pitching in and sharing and helping out with this. We know everyone is so busy. So we will see you in a couple of weeks with the final challenge achievers and the graduates, and who will be taking home that little boot camp dog tag that's going to be sent out to every graduate. So, ladies, want to say your goodbyes?
Gretchen,
thanks everyone. Have a great day.
I want to say one little last thing that I forgot. I have my necklace on today too, the 4 A's. Anytime, anywhere, always ask. And I mean, ask your team to join you, ask your representatives to join your team, ask everyone you talk to, and let's grow these teams. And absolutely. Don't forget the Bootcamp Facebook page. Keep sharing there. We're going to keep that up, aren't we, Gretchen? And
absolutely. We're going to have more sessions coming. We're having a little summer break right now.
But have your new team members join. Send them there. Have them join and look over everything that we've done. Bye. Thanks, everybody.
Have a great day. Thanks for joining us.